guy, Thomas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Jó estét kívánok, kedves hölgyeim és uraim! Szeretettel köszöntöm Önöket Calgaryban a Magyar Harcos Bajtársi Közösség nevében. Üdvözlöm Önöket a 65. Magyar Gála esten. My name is Lajos Marik, and it's very pleased to be with you tonight. And let me to introduce to you, or welcome back, Brenda Lind. She is 19 times here in
19
Kelowna.
times?
19 times.
How did that happen? I'm only 23.
Congratulations to you, and I heard that you did always excellent job.
Oh, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be here. A very special honor to be here for such a momentous occasion. On behalf of the Hungarian Veterans Association, welcome all to the 65th Magyar Gala. This year marks a major milestone, of course, for this long-standing tradition. After a valiant return, after a 2-year hiatus, we hope you will take advantage of everything offered to you tonight, including the media wall and the ice sculpture backgrounds in the lobby for your gala photos. We have so much in store for you tonight that we better get started.
That's good. We begin this evening program with the introduction of our head table guests.
Spiral counter, march.
We'll begin with the introduction of our head table guest. The president of the Hungarian Veteran Association, Calgary chapter, Mr. József Várvízi and Mrs. Ilona Várvízi.
Representing the Calgary Fire Department, Fire Chief Steve Dongworth and Mrs. Cherie Dongworth.
Presenting the Calgary Police Service, Deputy Chief Chad Tafik and Mrs. Kayan Tafik.
Representing the City of Calgary, Ward 12, Councillor Evan Spencer.
Representing the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Acting Southern Alberta District, Commander, Superintendent Rick Jane and Mrs. Stephanie Jane.
Representing the Canadian Armed Forces, 41st Canadian Brigade Group, Lieutenant Colonel Neek Seeley-Thompson and Mrs. Leslie Seeley-Thompson. to honor and respect the spirit of truth and reconciliation, and to give thanks to the land. We acknowledge that the Magyar Gala takes place on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Stoney Nakoda Nations, Tsuut'ina Nation, and the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3, all the people who call the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta home. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Canadian and Hungarian national anthems led by Bianca Sabu.
George, about, turn. Flank buddy, dismissed. By the center, quick, march. Halt. General salute, present, arms.
With
slope, arms. By the center, quick, march. Spiral counter, march.
Special thanks to the cadets joining us tonight from the 781st Royal Canadian Air Cadet Squadron. Their annual presence enhances the military tradition established by our founding leaders 65 galas ago.
Please be seated.
I would now like to call on Mr. József Várvízi, President of the Hungarian Veterans Association, who is very happy to welcome everybody back to celebrate the 65th Magyar Gala.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished head table guests, I would like to welcome you on the 65th Magyar Gala, or as we call it today, Magyar Gala. We hit a milestone, quite big milestone, 65-year-old gala, and the question pops up, how are we going to do it furthermore? Are we going to stay on? Is the organization going to work in the future? Are we going to have the Magyar Gala in the future? And for all of these questions, I have to answer with yes, with a big yes. Our luck, maybe that is not the right word for it. But we're lucky because we have the youth, the Hungarian youth, the Canadian youth. We have involved, honestly, I don't know how many different nationalities in the Magyar Gala. So we have the youth, we have the future. The Hungarian Veterans Association, in the past 23 years, I've been involved with that as a president for 23 years, helping a number of different organizations like churches, orphanages, veterans associations. Every year, we're giving away $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 as donations in helping people in need. Thank you. Here I have to recognize our patrons. I have to say many, many thanks. Without them, this event would not be possible. So I thank you for your gracious support. Furthermore, I would like to thank all our volunteers. We have, fortunately, plenty of them every year. They work all year long. So we're going to start organizing the next year's ball probably end of April or in May. So they work all year round. They contribute their time, their money, their energy to the cause. So we're happy to have them. Thank you. The Magyar Gala, I should say, well recognized. The Hungarian ambassador to Canada, unfortunately, couldn't make it tonight, but here is what she wrote us. With reference, quote, with reference to your kind invitation to the 65th Magyar Gala in Calgary on March 11th, I am regretfully obliged to inform you that despite the most sincere intention to join you, I will not be able to participate at the gala. Please convey my most heartfelt apologies to the organizers and to all participants. Let me wish you and the Hungarian Veterans Association a joyous, successful anniversary gala. Looking forward to next year's event. Signed by Maria Vas Salazar. Quote again. I would like to introduce to a different Hungarian group, which was launched back in 2020. The name of this group is Összetartozás, or in English, togetherness. The specialty, the uniqueness of this group, that it was made up from Hungarian dance groups all over in Canada. Toronto, Hamilton, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton. And they come together and they make a wonderful, wonderful performance. They were last year in March in Edmonton, in October in Vancouver, and next week, Saturday, on the 18th, they're going to be here in Calgary. And there is some information on your table about them, how you can buy tickets. And please, if you can, if you have time, go and see them. They're wonderful. It's an hour-long performance. It's really extraordinary. And now, before I'm going away, our traditional greeting. We had a co-host here for a number of years. She was with Brenda Finley for a long time. His name was Mike Rose. And he had a saying, which was this: ladies and gentlemen, I would like to propose a toast to all the pretty ladies. To your health. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you join us, please, in thanking Mr. József Varvasi for his years and years of service, 23.
The Calgary Hungarian Veterans Association dancers will perform the traditional Hungarian court dance called the Huszárvermunkos and reformkori Palotas. Documents dating from the 1800s describe how the Palotas was gaining popularity at events hosted by nobility and especially in the Royal Hungarian Court. The Palotas dance is still the preferred opening dance of current Hungarian gala celebrations. The costumes are similar to those worn in the House of Habsburg during the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Choreography and instruction for the 65th Gala is by George and Magdi Bíró, and incredibly, Tonight we are celebrating their 20th Palotas. Thank you both for the many, many hours you dedicated to making so many beautiful dances over the years. And now, the Magyar Gala presents the Palotas.
Present arms. Slope arms. Flag party, reform. Quick march. By the center, quick march. Spiral counter, march.
and gentlemen, weeks and months of practice. Bravo! Bravo! And thanks once again to George and Magdi Biro, the choreographers for the last 20 years of these magnificent Palotas dances.
Ez valami csodálatos volt, tényleg megérdemlik a tapsot.
So ladies and gentlemen, dinner is now being served.
We would now like to call little Peter Cartman to say grace before our meal on behalf of Reverend Raymond Loving.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Both Hungarian and Presbyterian churches are awaiting the arrival of the new priest. Therefore, we turn to Father Lowing, who is a longtime friend of the Hungarians and was a faithful helper for many years at the St. Elizabeth of Hungary Church to compose the grace before meals. Let's all quiet ourselves for a moment. For those who would like to join me in the sign of the cross, az Atyának, és Fiúnak, és Szentlélek Istennek nevében. Amen. Heavenly Father, we place ourselves in your presence on this happy occasion. We feel blessed to be together once more after the COVID restrictions. We thank you for the blessings that come to us from so many ways when there are so many challenges in our world. As we gather this evening, we ask you to bless our participating youth, our guests, and all who are present. Help us to be mindful of our obligations to the poor and those who experience difficulties because of natural disasters, economic and political difficulties of our time. Bless the food prepared for our dinner this evening, those who have prepared it, and those who will be serving it. With grateful hearts, we make our prayer to you and ask that you remain with us at all times. Amen. Az Atyának és Fiúnak és Szentlélek Istennek nevében. Amen. Bon appétit, és jó étvágyat kívánunk mindenkinek. Másképp.
The Magyar Gala's scholarship program has been created for many years and is a way for the committee to say thank you to its dancers for their commitment and dedication by supporting them in their scholastic endeavors. This year's scholarship topic invited applicants to research the Hungarian diaspora. This diaspora is the result of migrations, as well as the devastating effects of Hungary's national boundaries being redrawn. Applicants were asked to select a region from the diaspora and discuss their history, the regional influences, and how the Hungarian traditions and identities were transformed throughout the years. This year's scholarship winners both provided not only statistics, but relevant personal experiences that highlight the lives and the challenges of these Hungarians. Our first winner of the 2023 Essay Scholarship is Bianca Sarbu. Bianca is in her third year majoring in contemporary and classical music at the University of Maine. She's an accomplished vocalist and pianist, completing many exams and winning first place in several musical competitions. Bianca is a returning dancer to the Magyar Gala and has been an active member of the Hungarian community in Calgary her whole life. Her scholarship topic was about the people of Transylvania and how they passed down their culture despite many adversities throughout the years. The next winner of our 2023 Essay Scholarship is Dora Bernadette Poti. Dora is currently enrolled in the business program at Mount Royal University. When she's not focused on her studies, Dora enjoys playing soccer or volunteering at the library. Dora's essay topic focused on the Seceful region and how Hungarians in this area of Romania have adapted to keep their culture and traditions alive. She has been involved in the Calgary Hungarian folk dance community for many years and is now a debutante and a Palotas dancer as well. Scholarships are being presented by Dora Magash and Josef Varvasi. So congratulations, Bianca and Dora. Thank you both for being such dedicated members of Calgary's Hungarian community, and all the best to both of you in your studies.
And now we will present the winners of this year's Széchenyi Awards, generously sponsored and presented this year by Judith Virag on behalf of Clean Club Calgary, who is a strong supporter of the Hungarian community. The Széchenyi Scholarship is available to assist students in an academic or extracurricular activity or to help in pursuing a personal interest or hobby. We have three recipients of the Széchenyi Awards for 2023. In no particular order, our winners are Enikő Koroknai, Enikő is graduating from Notre Dame High School this year and plans to use this award to pursue nursing courses in her post-secondary studies. She hopes to one day use her education to assist to others in the Hungarian community. Our next winner is Michel Lakatos. Michelle is in her fourth year at Mount Royal University in sociology. Aside from helping to instruct and choreograph this year's Debutante waltz, Michelle is also an active leader of the Magyar Gala community. She plans to use the award to help find activities that will benefit the children as well as her co-leaders in Scouts. Our next winner tonight is David Tachiuni. David is currently in grade 11 and in the International Baccalaureate program at Henry Weisswood High School. David is an avid skier and is first degree black belt in Taekwondo. He plans to use his award to further his passions in arts, martial arts. We are also instructs both youth and adults. Congratulations, Annika, Michelle, and David, and the best luck of you for the future.
And thank you to all those who made these scholarships possible. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're waited with bated breath. Who's our keynote speaker? It's Mr. Jeremy Farkas. Jeremy has had a very busy past few years since we saw him last at the Magyar Gala, including a political campaign, followed by some of his most challenging and rewarding adventures yet. We are so grateful to have him here with us to share his experiences and insights tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming Mr. Jeremy Farkas.
Well, you know what? I never thought I'd be here again. But, after the kind of election that I had, I got the good fortune of actually getting to know who my friends were. There's a lot of people in politics who are there sort of supporting you because of basically what you can do for them as virtue of your job. And these folks never pick up the phone again. But I am so happy to see that, again, I am amongst friends. We have an incredible number of honored guests. I'm sure that they'll have the opportunities later in our program to be able to be recognized. But I was quite surprised to be invited to be able to speak about the Pacific Crest Trail, and I'll jump right into it. So I'd like you all to think back to the worst moment of your life. What happened next? Well, for one, I've been lucky enough to be able to find out twice. The first played out, as you well know, on television on the night of the October 2021 Calgary municipal election. And after a close race, I'd lost by a stunning margin. Looking out to a sea of disappointed supporters, I began my concession speech. And when I saw my mom begin to cry, I thought that my life was going to be over. But the morning after, the phone rang. What next? I asked. My mentor's response was that this isn't the first time, and it's not going to be the last. And after a point of silence, he went on to say, "Don't take no for an answer." And it was true, my life wasn't over. It was about to begin. The second worst time of my life played out in stunning seclusion in the middle of the snowbound High Sierra in May 2022. I and a group of Pacific Crest Trail travelers had greatly overestimated our own capabilities. We'd also sorely underestimated the pure scale of an upcoming mountain pass. And as weather changed, it quickly became impassable. Chunks of ice crashed down off the peak, landing a stone's throw away from where I clung to the mountain. And if they'd landed a few feet closer, I would have been sent tumbling down to the rocks hundreds of feet below. We were stuck halfway up, unable to proceed and unable to backtrack. And I was responsible. For more than 12 hours, we clung to the side of that cliff at an elevation of more than 12,000 feet in one of North America's most remote places. We burned snow in our stoves for water, and one misstep likely meant that my life would be over, its final moments spent plummeting down into the jagged ice and rocks below. And I learned that of all threats that nature can throw to man, there's one greater still, and that's our own ego. And I have to say that the experience, it shook me. I still feel deeply the shame, the embarrassment for bringing things so close to the literal edge. And it was that failure, my failure, that was the best teacher. I resolved that it would never happen again. It impacted everything that we did going forward, but this time for the better. We went on to conquer the High Sierra's 10 legendary passes and Mount Whitney, the tallest peak in the continental United States. And it was that early mistake that likely prevented future fatal ones. And I gradually regained my confidence, and most importantly, the trust of those I traveled with. And it was before long that the events of that day and what I did about it earned me the trail name Pathfinder. It was incredibly painful for me to admit that I was in over my head. But once I did, the mentors that I needed arrived in my life. I learned something constantly, from 8-year-olds to 82-year-olds, first-time seasoned veterans alike. I was constantly amazed by the kindness and generosity of the trail angels who aid and shelter hikers on the trail, often at their own expense. And it was actually 1 year ago, to this very day, that I first set foot in the desert to begin the 6-month, 5,000-kilometer journey. The desert was the first test. It's being thrown into the unknown, far from home, and seeing what you're made of. It's about finding your way in a place that might as well be another planet. It's about thriving, surviving, and celebrating the wins where you can find them. The desert is about finding out what you thought you knew about the world, what you thought you knew of yourself might not be true. It's about realizing that life doesn't always go to plan, and that's not always a bad thing. It's about facing your fears and deciding to push through anyway, even if you're scared, especially if you're scared. It's about having absolutely no idea what you're doing and finding a helping hand where you least expect it. The desert is about hard, long days and enjoying those moments of rest as they come. It's about discovering trail towns and following your hunches. The desert is also about forging friendships and finding life in unexpected places. It's reuniting with the sense of wonder inside that faded as you grew older. It's about having one single tangible goal, one foot in front of the other, getting back home. The desert is about pushing through and moving out of your comfort zone. Because dreams, they never ever came true taking the easy road. Then comes the Sierra. The Sierra Nevada mountain range is unlike anything else. Ready or not, you've entered the truly wild and unknown. You enter hopeful, excited, and if you have your wits about you, intimidated. The Sierra is about holding on tight, not just to the trail, but to those around you. You see, in the desert, a good friend was the difference between success and failure. And here in the Savannah, they're the difference between life and death. This test isn't one of body, it's one of soul. You ask yourself, why are you subjecting yourself to this? What are you willing to do? Who are you willing to become in order to make it home? In the Sierra, the highs are higher and the lows are lower. It's about waking up cold, wet, and exhausted, and waking up again to do it all over. It's where I forge friendships to last the entire beautiful, long road ahead. The Sierra is where I learned that what survives the fire emerges as steel. Then that steel meets Northern California. By now, you've survived everything that the trail can throw at you. The rain, snow, wind, and cold. The weight on your back. NorCal is about surviving it all over again. Your body has bested the desert. Your soul has conquered the Sierra. And NorCal is a test of your mind. It's knowing that you've come 100 days and 1,000 miles, and you're not even close to done. Not even close to half done. NorCal is rugged and full of long, hard days without seeing another person. It's moments of self-doubt, fear, and isolation. NorCal is silence. It's a lot of time to yourself, to think, to wonder about where you've been, where you're going. There were so many times I wondered if I was doing the right thing to put my work, my family, and relationships on hold to pursue this wild, grand adventure. But for how hard it was, I was always incredibly fortunate to find myself in the right place, at the right time, with the right people. Next came Oregon, or as my friends would call it, the Promised Land. They say that if you made it this far, you're certain to make it all the way to Canada. They say that Oregon is flat and the miles come easy. What they don't tell you is about the heat, the mosquitoes, and the long days without water. I went in without expectations and was delighted by the generous trail community and the natural beauty that the state had to offer. And I would like to comfort the trail on my own stubbornness, my mind and my body and my soul overcoming the challenges from early in the journey. But I have absolutely no trouble admitting to you that I was with the best possible people to share the journey with. They propelled me forward, and with no doubt in my mind that it was them that enabled me to be able to make it back home. And then there was Washington. Walking across the Bridge of the Gods into Washington was like being reborn. It felt like my first day again on trail, but this time I wasn't counting up the miles, I was counting them down. Washington is no walk in the park. The trail is rugged, overgrown, beautiful, and unpredictable. The climbs are steeper, the water is deeper, and it feels like home. The days were long, but my month in Washington was short. Then sadness and excitement build. Before you know it, it's over. So how do you finish a story like this? Especially after realize that it's not about the beginning or the end, but the everything, the everyone in between. 1 year later, I still think about the many friends I made along the way. Each challenge and unexpected kindness inched me just a little bit closer to the kind of person that I want to be. I think about Pathfinder. He's the guy I wish I could have been my entire life, if only I wasn't so scared. I think about all that I've learned, to admit my shortcomings, to love my failures, to embrace wonder, to truly, truly value freedom. Freedom. Freedom brought me to the trail, and it brings me to why I'm here tonight, why we are here tonight. 67 years ago, my Nagymama bore witness in Budapest. A peaceful student demonstration turned to a bloodbath in a single explosive moment. The communist secret police opened fire on the students, killing many where they stood. As Tom Kennedy wrote, marking the 25th anniversary of the Hungarian Revolution, their only crime was asking for what all people should have: freedom, a decent life without fear. That student protest in pursuit of freedom ignited a nationwide revolt against the harsh policies and control of the communist government. Our uprising captured the attention and the imagination of the world. But despite the shining promise and rally of free Hungary, it was not meant to be, at least not yet. The Soviets responded quickly and cruelly. Within days, their Red Army, acting in breach of promises, international law, and all decency, attacked Hungary. The rest, so they say, is history. Even in the face of death, our people resisted the most supreme military force in Europe. Still more lost their lives facing the gallows, firing squads, and secret police in the days, months, and years to come. As a people, we know well that there is no success without setbacks. Although that revolution failed, its consequences have been felt ever since, particularly in the lives of the diaspora communities around the world. My father was among the thousands of refugees who found opportunity and a fresh start here in Alberta. The Hungarian story of '56 is one that it cannot and it must not be forgotten. But looking out into the crowd today, it's clear that that story means something for Hungarians and non-Hungarians alike. For us who mark the significance of that bloody October day, it is an essential part of what it means to be Calgarian and Canadian. What we are known for isn't the fall, it isn't the stumble, it's what happened next. The ideal of freedom for all, the slogan of the revolution, must remain alive. As we remember the events of the past, let us reflect together on what comes next, building home, speaking out against injustice, and honoring the sacrifices of those who came before. In closing, thank you. Köszönöm szépen to the Hungarian Veterans Association for bringing us together and keeping that flame of freedom alive, not only through tonight's spectacle of song, swaying, and swirling, but through youth mentorship, scholarships, and programs. After 65 years, you've grown from a humble evening of dinner and dance to an elaborate and elegant celebration of community known throughout the world. We have built something to be proud of in this place we call Mokinstis, Calgary. But we've also learned the hard way that you can't stop the dance halfway through the song, nor the climb halfway up the mountain. As Hungarians, as Canadians, as Calgarians, as people, we work here to build what all should have, but is so rare throughout the world. Freedom, a decent life without fear. Life is a dance, but that doesn't mean that it's steady. As our dancers can tell you, sometimes progress comes slow, slow, quick, quick, then slow. Life is a climb, but that doesn't mean it's straight to the top. There are valleys between those mountains. But what they say is true. The view is always best at the top of the hardest climb. Through it all, I've learned one thing, that if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go with friends. And friends, we have come so far together, but we have so much further to go. Thank you so much for honoring me this evening.
Well, Jeremy, the reason why we are here tonight. Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served.
Kedves vendégeink, most pedig a Vadrózsa népi tánccsoport következik. The Vadrózsa folk dancers have been sharing Hungarian folk dance culture across Canada and the world over 48 years. This evening's performance medley will take us to the villages of Magyar Bőd and Vajdaságtivány. Their dance choreographies are authentic to the villages of origin, along with their costumes that present everyday life in those regions. Instruction and choreography are a collaboration between Amanda Enstedt, Tihamir Bodo, and Andrea Szabó. More details can be found in your program booklet. Kedves vendégeink, bizonyára hallották, egy kimutatás szerint a magyar néptánc sokrétűsége és rendeltetése révén a világ 10 országok közé tartozik, hiszen akár egy vármegyének, vidéknek, városnak, falunak sajátságos népzenéje, népi tánca van. Büszkék vagyunk erre a csodálatos örökségre. And now please welcome the Vadrózsa Hungarian folk dancers of Calgary.
Yeah.
May we have your attention, please? At this time, we will toast the King. Please refill your glasses. His Majesty King Charles III is now Canada's head of state. On formal occasions, particularly formal dinners, it is customary to toast His Majesty at a suitable point in the proceedings without words or music or clinking of glasses. We ask you all to please rise and join us in raising your glasses and drink the toast, the King.
The King.
Did you drink? Did you drink? Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to introduce our head table guests and welcome each of them to share their greetings with you. To start us off, please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Nick Seeley-Thompson, Deputy Commander of the 41st Canadian Brigade Group.
Ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests, thank you for your kind invitation to this historical cultural event. It's a privilege to be here and to represent 41 Canadian Brigade Group, the Canadian Army in the West, as we are known, and indeed the Canadian Armed Forces. As the representative of Alberta's brigade, I'd like to acknowledge the event's historical military credentials and the Calgary chapter of the Hungarian Veterans Association. I should point out that both my wife Leslie and I are also military veterans who emigrated to Canada from Europe, albeit from the British Army. And I think that our mutual links to our European roots have a renewed resonance given the current tragic situation in Ukraine. Many of you may not know, but at the moment there are 50 Calgarians from our brigade currently deployed in Europe as part of NATO's deterrence to the threat from Russian aggression and to help train the Ukrainian armed forces based in UK and in Poland. I was in Ukraine myself last year, and I can vouch for the Ukrainian stoicism, courage and determination. Let us hope that Canada's commitment to our friends in Ukraine, alongside our partners in NATO, ensures that Russian aggression ultimately fails and we can renew our hard-won peace that our predecessors fought and died for. I wish you all a wonderful continued evening, and thank you again for allowing us to be part of it. It's been a privilege. Thank you.
Superintendent Rick Janet, acting district commanders of the RCMP, Southern Alberta District.
Thank you, President Varvisi. It is an honor to be here tonight, and I also bring my greetings to the entire gathered guests and the honored head table guests. It was really an honor to be invited to attend and speak at your event this evening. And I would like to start out by congratulating your association on the 65th anniversary of the Magyar Gala. This is a true accomplishment that showcases your dedication to your veterans. This is the first time my wife Stephanie and I have had the honor of attending this remarkable function, and we were overwhelmed by the grace and beauty of the dancers so far during tonight's performance. The work of the Hungarian Veterans Association clearly has great value to the community. I commend you on your commitment to teaching youth the values of the community and providing them opportunities to grow, prosper, and contribute to society. Their work is important, not only to retaining and celebrating the Hungarian spirit, but it is also very important to the future of our city, our province, and our country. I have learned that regardless of the age or affiliation, we all want to help create a better future. Each of us aspires to a province where everyone can succeed and contribute, where excellence and opportunity coexist. Policing is very much part of that vision. In order for us to be effective, our relationships with our communities are paramount. The focus of the Alberta RCMP is to be committed in ensuring that we understand those priorities of our community partners and that we can work with them in partnership and find effective strategies to address and reach our shared goals. Thank you very much for this wonderful experience.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, Councillor Evan Spencer from Ward 12, Calgary.
Oki, Ambawastich, Danit, Ada, Tansi, and hello, good evening, everyone. On behalf of my council colleagues and the mayor, thank you. I bring greetings. The hospitality I've received since I've entered these doors is truly phenomenal. When I think of one of the great privileges of getting to do what I do, it is to be able to come into these orbits of the cultural, the religious, the public servants, all of these associations, these groups of people that make the rich tapestry that makes Calgary. It truly is an honor that you would invite me to be here tonight. It is beautiful what I am witnessing. I feel very honored to be here. Thank you for spending inviting me to participate in this. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care.
Thank you. Deputy Chief Chad Tafik of the Calgary Police Service.
Good evening, everyone, distinguished guests. For those of you that I haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name is Chad Tofik. I'm the Deputy Chief in charge of the Bureau of Community Policing with the Calgary Police Service. My wife, Kayanne, and I feel very honored to be here tonight. Such a wonderful evening of tradition and history here at the Westin. On behalf of Chief Mark Neufeld and the rest of the Calgary Police Service, I want to thank you for including us in this 65th anniversary of this distinguished gala. Although the past few years have been difficult and interrupted by many things, I know that it makes it extra special this year to come together in this way. I also want to extend our thanks to the Calgary chapter of the Hungarian Veterans Association for all their efforts in putting together tonight's incredible event. In a time where society seems to be polarized on so many issues, the fact that we can come together in this way to celebrate culture and tradition is inspiring. As an organization that served the community since being founded in 1885, the CPS has also been an organization that takes great pride in celebrating ceremony and tradition. Our members value and respect the cultural diversity of our community, and we believe that this diversity is our city's greatest strength. Tonight is just one great example of that. I feel very proud to live and work in a community that embraces this culture and brings people together with different backgrounds and perspectives so that we all can learn from each other and share in each other's traditions. Our officers at the CPS are extremely proud to work in service to you. Each and every day, our officers strive to serve the communities in Calgary with honesty, integrity, respect, and compassion. Events like this not only provides us the opportunity for us to come together as a community, but also to celebrate the youth and the young adults who will become the next leaders of our city, our province, and our country. And by the way, we're recruiting, just in case anyone's looking for employment. We need good people, and I see a lot of them here tonight. At the Calgary Police Service, we've seen firsthand how mentorship, cultural, and educational opportunities can make a difference and positively impact our youth, setting them up for future success. On that note, I also want to congratulate all the young people here tonight on their commitment to their culture and to our community. With your enthusiasm, the future looks very bright. On behalf of the entire Calgary Police Service and on behalf of my wife, Kian, and I, thank you to the Hungarian Veterans Association and thanks to all of you for allowing us to partake in this great event. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Chief Steve Dongworth, the Fire Chief of the Calgary Fire Department, who's been a distinguished guest along with his wife Sherry at our gala for 5 consecutive years. Welcome back.
Thank you, everyone. First of all, 5 years. It's not difficult to see, though, why Cherie and I keep coming back. What an amazing event to come to. Congratulations as well on 65 years. Incredible. By my math, or whoever wrote my notes for me, that's 1956 this event first happened. So that's a long time ago. That's actually before I was born. So that's a really long time ago. It is, though, seriously, though, for the Hungarian Veterans Association, what an accomplishment keeping this going. And with some of the things some of my distinguished guests have said tonight, it makes me think about what a great country we get to live in. There was talk about Ukraine at the moment and things that are happening in Eastern Europe right now. And here, though, we all come, including myself, as new Canadians, and we become Canadians and we commit to be Canadians. But we have the freedom and the ability, just as you have tonight, in our different cultures, our different traditions, our different religions, to celebrate those things that make us different within being Canadians. And what a wonderful freedom to have that many people don't have. So I thought that was worth talking about. You know, the things we always enjoy so much, the Palotas, the folk dance. And by the way, I forgot, I've got to try this. Jó este. Sorry, jó este, is it, or jó este? Jó este. Oh, Tate. I've been told several different versions. I've tried this out a few times tonight, and I've come across a few different versions. So whatever. I'm glad people recognize, though, even though it's very poor Hungarian, just as my Canadian is very poor, that you understood that piece. But yeah, make sure you try some Polinka as well. That's right. So have a great evening. And by the way, I know the deputy from the police service said that the police were recruiting. We are recruiting too. I just want to put that on record. And everyone loves to see us every time. Anyway, thank you. Have a great evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hungarian Veterans Association is honored to recognize the presence of many special guests here tonight who are generous and thoughtful supporters of this event and the community. With their help, our association is able to engage with our neighbors and friends to bring Hungarian traditions and culture into our communities. These successful relationships are well celebrated and evident this evening with our 65th Magyar Gala. I feel I'm a living representative of that. 35 years ago, I met my best friend, Eva Faket, Hungarian Calgarian, and she introduced me to the wonderful Calgary Hungarian community. And I can't tear myself away. You are a wonderful group of people who have helped build a great city. Thank you so much. We would like to sincerely thank everyone for their continuous support and for joining us this evening. Please stand now when your name is called.
Arthur M. Szabó, Honorary Consul for Hungary, his wife Nancy Georgiou. Yeah. Szabó and their daughter Julia Szabó. The Szabó family. The Szabó Family Foundation kindly sponsored our VIP reception this evening. Also of note, Mrs. Szabó was recently awarded the Queen Elizabeth Diamond Jubilee Medal for her many years of contribution to Alberta youth. Congratulations, Nancy, and warm welcome back to both of you, or to both of you. Gerard Carlier, Honorary Consul for France, and his wife Celia Logan.
Christopher Milda, Honorary Consul of Norway, and his wife Sue Milda. Lorene Regan, Honorary Vice Consul of the Republic of Ireland, and her husband, Doug Joner.
Stephen Hess, Honorary Consul of Nepal, and his wife, Janice Beer. Joining us from Edmonton, Sándor Szente, Honorary Consul of Hungary to Northern Alberta, and Anna Szente, Canadian Regional President of the Hungarian Diaspora Council and President of the Canadian-Hungarian Heritage Council.
Also from Edmonton, Ava Toldy, member of the Board of Directors of the Canadian-Hungarian Cultural Society of Edmonton. Zsolt Taladris, the Calgary Hungarian Scout Troop leader, and Ervin Bata, Regional Commissioner for Western Canada and Assistant Commissioner for Region 5 Canada in Hungarian Scouts.
Amanda Einstedt, President of the Vadrózsa Hungarian Folk Dancers of Calgary. Thank you for joining us and performing this evening. The Bethlehem Historical Society, providing professional Hungarian language education to children living in the Calgary area. Thank you for your generous donation for our audiovisual setup and our souvenir program booklet.
Maria Kozma Grimm, Hungario radio program producer, thank you for your generous patronage of this gala. Representing the Austria-Canadian Society of Calgary, board members Peter McCormick and Mrs. McCormick, Mike Rogi and Mrs. Rogi, and Helmut Schoderbach. Thank you for your continued support with the use of facilities for meetings and practices.
Representing the Calvin Hungarian Presbyterian Church of Calgary, László and Vilma Orosz, and Robert Tarr. Representing the Hungarian Canadian Cultural Association of Calgary, President László Szabó and Kati Schäfel. Andrea Szabó, Kőrösi Csoma Sándor International Scholarship recipient for 23-24. Csaba Kedves, Hungarian television program producer. We are grateful for your presence here tonight, and there are many of us who are also looking forward to attending your event next weekend, the Összetartozás folk dance performance in the Grand Theatre in Calgary, followed by a táncház with Cifra Banda at the Magyar Ház. Thank you again, and we'll see you there.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to briefly pause and ask debutantes and all accompanying escorts, father and cavalier, to quietly move to the back, please, and prepare for performance. The Hungarian Veterans Association would like to continue acknowledgments by recognizing our generous patrons. Their support of our association makes it possible to share this small part of Hungarian culture and enables the continued success of the Magyar Gala. Please stand briefly when your name is called.
We would like to thank our sponsor of the main champagne reception that we all enjoyed this evening, Robert and Sharika Becskei, in loving memory of Ilonka and József Becskei. Our delicious dinner wine was kindly sponsored by Joanne and Les Juhas.
Our traditional Palinka aperitif was sponsored by Treks and Trails for Puppy Dog Tales, represented by Peter Hartman. We also had 2 new sponsorships this year. The debutantes' wrist corsages were sponsored by Steve and Susan Crowley, and the Cavaliers' boutonnieres are sponsored by Dr. Steve and Clementina Angeli.
As noted earlier, the Széchenyi Awards this year were sponsored by Judith Virag on behalf of Clean Club Calgary. Please also review our program booklet for a list of volunteers and in-kind contributors. Thank you again to everyone for your kind attendance and financial support.
And now we would like to say a brief word about the history of our gala and how we arrived here at the 65th milestone tonight. The Calgary chapter of the Hungarian Veterans Association was founded by local immigrant military families in 1951, primarily organized by József Fulo and Laszlo Duska. As its leadership and activities grew, it became apparent that an organized gathering was needed. The first dinner and dance in 1956 soon evolved into an annual, fashionable, elegant event. With the introduction of the Palotas dance, and later the debutantes, the concept of a grand ball, similar to those enjoyed in Hungary, became a reality here in Calgary. We are here tonight because of the strong belief and the hard work of many Calgary Hungarian families who cherished their traditions and their culture and felt that a bit of grandeur can be truly exciting and uplifting even in the wild, wild west of Canada. We are lucky and proud to acknowledge that for the last 51 years, we have been assisted and encouraged in this endeavor by the staff of the Westin Hotel, which was known once upon a time as the Calgary Inn. We formally recognize them in our 64th gala by donating on their behalf to the Children's Miracle Network. And we thank them again tonight for helping us host another beautiful gala.
The Magyar Gala committee would like to thank all of the dancers and their parents for their commitment for over the past several months and express gratitude for so many of the dancers who return year after year. Please refer to our program booklet for the names of 9 dancers who received 5, 10, and 15-year awards. You are all the reason the Magyar Gala continues to exist and flourish after 65 years, even amidst an ever-changing and fast-paced modern world. Tonight, we have 16 brand new dancers as debutantes or cavaliers making their official debut. And we look forward to having new dancers join year after year as the tradition continues.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this evening's signature performance, the Debutante Waltz. Prepare to be taken on a magical journey to a time of chivalry, gallantry, and beautiful fairy tale princesses. Tonight's performance will be the 65th occasion at the Hungarian Gala Ball. However, each year's Debutante Waltz is a unique, captivating spectacle, as timeless as courtship itself. You will see our debutantes sashay up the dance floor with their escorts to the sound of the Veneer Bonbon of Johann Strauss. And they will then be formally introduced to the head table and guests, and what will follow can only be described as magical. On this momentous occasion, they will dance to the ever-popular Blue Danube Waltz, also by Johann Strauss. Choreography and instruction by Michel Lakatosh, Jesse Marshall, assisted by Erika Undjofi and Laszlo Varvizi.
Present arms. Slope arms. Flag party, reform. Quick march. By the center, quick march. Spiral counter, march.
Debutante Vivian Shinko, Attila Edyet.
Debutant Isabella Moinen, Cavalier Rafael Duszka.
Debutant Toma Zakharovskaya and Daniel Moynihan.
Debutant Viktória Kuruc-Horváth, László Várvízi.
Debutante Dora Bernadette Hoti, Edmund Shinko.
Debutant Sonja Sebestyén, Cavalier Ákos Gergely.
Debutante Mailani Maye, Jonathan Varro.
Debutant Kristina Nekulaou, Cavalier David Tacs-Jodny.
Debutante Emily Tone, Jesse Laszlo Marshall.
Debutant Vienna Vastak Sutherland, Antal Harcsak.
Debutante Romy van Halderen, Bokern Parmar.
Sarah Jalszowicki, Kyle Mandel.
Debutante Annika Korekna, Spencer Mung.
Debutant Maya Sekida, Ethan Mang.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 debutantes of the 65th Magyar Gala.
we'd like to call upon our instructors for acknowledgement and gratitude for the beautiful performances we enjoyed tonight. Magdi and George Biro for their 20th Palotas dance. Michelle, Jesse, assisted by Erika and Laszlo for the Debutante's dance. These instructors give so much of themselves throughout the year, preparing, modifying, and perfecting choreographies and taking so many dancers on the journey from beginner to performer in just 4 short months. You are all absolutely invaluable, and the Magyar Gala is so grateful for you. Please give them all a big hand. Példaképül szolgál mindenkinek Kanadában, és hiszem, vallom, hogy Kanadában egyetlen egy csoport, egyetlen egy ilyen gálaest nem volt ilyen nívós, mint ez. Jó magyarnak lenni Kanadában. Köszönöm.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome back our amazing big band orchestra, Hippocratic Oath, who are ready to serenade and help us dance the night away. Since we're now inspired by the beautiful waltz we've just enjoyed, our first dance of the evening will be a Viennese waltz, and we welcome all of you to join our dancers and head table guests on the floor. I would now like to call on President József Várviszi to officially open the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, with pleasure, I declare the 65th Magyar Gala open.